So I dropped what I was doing, moved to Florida, and second semester into photography school, I was given an assignment to do a documentary of our choice, and I decided to focus on why women wear the hijab. Islam has an answer for everything, whereas the other religions don't. You can ask any question, anything, and Islam will provide an answer. My family did take it rough. It was, my dad, who's no longer here, he took it the easiest, and he said, if you're happy, I'm happy. I grew up in East Lansing, Michigan, suburban area, and being very honest and direct, very privileged in every sense. Financially, grew up in great neighborhoods, great schools. I did not have much access to the world, and cultural traveling was like to Paris. So I didn't really have a good understanding of the world until I went to college and started kind of living on my own. I was a devout Christian. My first introduction to Islam was my move to Morocco. And I have always been this like free spirit. And I decided to take a year off of college and save up all my money and travel. So I went through Europe. I backpacked for like several countries, and I decided to move to Morocco for 3 months. And then I taught English at the American Language Center in Tangier. And I lived with a Moroccan family. And because I just wanted to immerse myself in the culture, not the religion necessarily, I decided to live like them as much as I could. So I wore the abaya and the hijab, and I tried to fast with them. So I dropped what I was doing, moved to Florida, and second semester into photography school, I was given an assignment to do a documentary of our choice, and I decided to focus on why women wear the hijab, because I wore it when I was younger in Morocco, but I didn't really have an understanding behind it. So I started interviewing local Muslims, and that's really what led me to my journey of studying Islam, because as I did the interview, I was very impressed with the answers, and I didn't realize how much of a closed mindset I actually had myself. It was around
Close.
9 months to a year. When I go into something, I go full force, completely in. I have no gray. I'm a black and white type of a person when I'm involved in something. And I was reading the entire Quran. I met with imams. I was watching YouTube videos on Islam. I read books. I did everything I could to really study. Islam has an answer for everything, whereas the other religions don't. You can ask any question, anything, and Islam will provide an answer. The day I decided to finally convert to Islam, it was the Friday before Ramadan in 2011, and I went to this like humble masjid in Florida by myself. I went and listened to the khutbah and prayed Jama'ah,
Just Friday prayer.
Friday prayer, yeah. I kind of sat in the masjid for a little bit after I was done, and I sat next to this woman. I was like, I don't know how the conversation started. I'm like, yeah, I'm not Muslim, but like I'm thinking about converting. So I just started chatting with her, and she's like, well, I really think you should do it now because Ramadan's about to start and there's so many blessings. My family did take it rough. It was, my dad, who's no longer here, he took it the easiest and he said, if you're happy, I'm happy. It's almost like he didn't really care. The hijab was what was difficult for my family because all of a sudden they now had to explain my lifestyle to everybody else that had questions. And I understand that that's not fair to them, but at the end of the day, like, I have to answer to Allah. I would say more conviction than confidence. I don't think I necessarily had confidence, but I had conviction in my faith, where my belief overtook, to do the right thing. But I would argue that I didn't really have the confidence at that point. Confidence came after later through all the struggles that I went through in life. When I hit rock bottom, in my opinion, rock bottom in my life, you start to let go of everything else, everybody's opinions. You just don't care anymore because you put into perspective as to what's important.